think I came to Atlanta and not gon' rap, nigga. I'm in the kitchen with Yayo, he make it slap, nigga. You niggas ain't got no motion and that's a fact, nigga. I drop a few more, I'm blowing, I'm like I rap, nigga. Ripped up the sack, retired quarterback, nigga. She off the track, can't work her if she flat, nigga. I need her with an apple bottom like a Mac, nigga. 020 moving, I ain't talking about a pack, nigga.
What up, Gringo gang? It's your boy Ever the Big. Go back at you with another video, man. And this was an interesting topic that came across my feed, man. I wanted to react to. So the YSL trial is long over. Got Thug doing his 15 years of probation. Trying to navigate that, you know what I mean? He about to, get married to Mariah and all that. He can't be in Atlanta like that. So he out there doing his thing, living his life. Then you got Gunna, who has just been on fire. The man has just been dropping banger after banger, just having his way. He lost the weight. He all in shape. And he just winning. And this conversation between T.I. and Cam Newton, they're discussing whether or not, amongst all of the labels that were placed on Gunna after, he made the statement that we saw the video of, saying that, YSL's a gang, and then he hopped out, he walked out the jailhouse and hopped in that Maybach, and he just been flying off in the sunset ever since. They are discussing whether or not Gunna should have, sat down, took an interview, came out, and explained himself a little bit more to the people who felt the type of way about what he did, especially based on the effects that it had on, the rest of the gang, you know what I'm saying? People, so they're discussing whether or not he did the right thing by just staying silent on the situation and going about his business. So let's see what they got to say, man.
I had a conversation with Lucci, and I think the specifics of my curiosity came when, yes, everybody knows what I'm talking about, but avoids being on record by saying certain things. But I would say this: what if Gunna wakes up because he hasn't spoke? He's used
to his advantage.
He has made music.
Now, Tip says, Gunna not saying anything so far has been working towards his advantage, but in my personal opinion, it's only been working to his advantage because the music has been so hot. I gotta give it to him. The music has been crazy. Ever since he stepped out of that, jail from that Rico situation, the music has been flawless, just back to back to back. If Gunna was having, a hard time dropping really good music, or if he was dropping music on the same level that, Thug has been dropping music lately, I think Gunna wouldn't have a choice but to come out and clear his name, because he wouldn't be receiving the same love and opportunities and success that he's receiving now. But I mean, the man stepped out and said, hey, this is what I do. I'm good at what I do. And he proved that he good at what he does. So that's led him to not have to say a damn thing about nothing, because, he let the work speak for itself so far, man.
Opt out places, but without talking about what people really want to know. Mm-hmm. If he were to say, you know what, I'm going to come on Expeditiously, or I want to come on Funky Friday,
I will welcome him.
And how would that counseling situation be?
I've spoken to Gunna.
Okay.
I've spoken to him.
So apparently Tip got a good relationship with Gunna. He said that if Gunna wanted to come out and speak, he would be more than welcome to it. I don't know if that's more about getting, eyes and attention towards the Expeditiously platform or towards T.I.'s name. And promoting himself. I don't know if it'll be that type of move or if it's just because he just genuinely got love for Gunna. I don't know, but let's see if we can get some more detail.
First of all, when the indictment came down, he called me and asked me for a suggestion of what lawyer he should, and I gave him my lawyer. He could not go to Brian Steele. He could not go, I don't believe.
Okay, that's interesting, because we know Brian Steele was representing Thug in the case. So I guess if you got co-defendants and y'all fighting under the same case, y'all can't use the same lawyer. I didn't know that. Well, I guess that's a thing. Okay.
Drew Findlay, he couldn't go. So I introduced him to my attorney, which is Steve Sadow. And I introduced him to my attorney. They started talking on their own. And that's when he turned himself in a day or two later. And the next time I talked to him, I believe I ain't talked to him. I think I talked to my attorney. And he told me that there was some on the table for Gunna to come home. And I was like, well, can you tell me about it? He's like, we couldn't.
And we definitely saw what was on the table. We saw what was on the table, which is why, we're having this discussion in the first place.
Tell me about it. And Gunna couldn't talk to me, but he had to make a decision. I was like, well, what, and I was interested, but I couldn't know any real details. And
if you would have known the details, and the details was what ended up happening.
Had I known that he would have had to verbally and signed to the same questions that were written, I would just make sure that he knew, if you agree to this, you will be met with adverse opinion. People will see you as something you don't want to be seen as.
Now, I don't think Gunna needed that talk from Tip to understand that people was gonna be looking at him as a snitch. Once he took that deal, I don't think Gunna needed Tip to tell him that. I think he had enough common sense to figure that out by himself. But based on everything we know, they said that, the statement that he made would, first of all, he was going to have immunity, as long as he came back and testified, if they, requested him to come back and testify. But the statement that he made was not going to be used against his co-defendants in a certain way, based on, if I'm remembering that correctly. So I think that's why he did it. I don't think that his statement was going to be a nail in a coffin towards anybody, which is why he agreed to go ahead and do it anyway. And plus, the man had been sitting in jail for damn near, was it over a year at the time already? So he was ready to get that shit over with. He like, man, I ain't even I'm the little homie. I ain't even supposed to be here in the first place. So, I completely understand and shit, man. If Gunna was the big homie and, Thug was like, hey, most of this shit ain't got nothing to do with me anyway. And you know what I mean? I can go ahead and get back to my family if I just go ahead and say these things, which, you know what I mean, are not necessarily going to bury my co-defendants in jail, but it'll at least get me out of here so I can get back to the crib. Like, it's highly likely that, Thug or one of the other co-defendants would have did the same thing. So you know, we kind of understood that. But yeah, I'm sure he already knew what people was gonna think about him. It's just street politics. That's just how the shit go.
Let me flaunt about it. Think you the best I ever seen. Think you the best I ever seen. Fuck you mean, blow my cream, yeah. Queen. Hop in my whip and let you get me on the inside. Can't let me leave without you, and you ain't never lied. She do it good, bustin' moves in the house shoes, doing the grown up like it without.
Feel like this just me my personal opinion of what I know of him, and because I've known him since he was like damn near a teenager. I feel like if I would have, not just me, anybody would have been able to advise him and tell him, he wouldn't have did it. I don't think he would have did it. And I told my
Nah, I think he would have did. Now, I mean, out of respect for, you know, Tip being an OG, you know what I'm saying, king of Atlanta and all that shit, I'm sure he would have considered it and everything, but it's a lot different when you sitting in that box and them days, one day is a week long, and you've been sitting there for damn near a year or over a year, and, you know, you missing your people, and you know you ain't had nothing to do with this shit that people are being charged of. And then when your lawyer comes and lays out, you know what I mean, the benefits of you making this statement, that you're going to be able to get out of this situation and it's not going to harm people in the way that just regular snitching is gonna harm people. I mean, you know, people gonna look at it as snitching regardless, but you gotta think about the benefits, the opportunity cost, you know what I'm saying? The cost versus the time you sitting in jail just wasting away. Like, if it's not really gonna get anybody executed, you know what I mean? Even though it's gonna sound crazy, if it's not really gonna get anybody executed, you might as well go ahead and go about your business, and you know what I mean, ask for forgiveness later, because ain't nobody trying to be sitting up in there with all these stinking ass niggas, and rusty ass sinks, and nasty ass toilets and shit. Ain't nobody trying to do that shit, man. We trying to find the best way to get the fuck up out of here. And if the lawyer tell me that, you know what I mean, they're not gonna use my statement to execute this man, you know what I mean, it may help their case out a little bit, but my statement is not gonna be the nail in the coffin. And I know that I'm just sitting in jail for some shit I ain't had nothing to do with. I mean, it's a lot to consider. There's a lot to consider.
attorney the same thing. And he don't understand. He don't come from where we come from.
Absolutely not.
So he don't say, what's the big deal? They can't.
You're coming home.
You're coming home. They can't use it against your friend in court, and it's insubmissible. So why does it matter?
It's a win-win.
That's how and I can't argue.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've been sitting there that long, and then the lawyer says, well, they can't, you know what I mean, convict your homie with this information, then who the fuck's finna keep rotting in jail for no reason? Nigga, we finna go. Nigga, we can talk about this shit later on the outside, but nigga, I got to go. Like, I miss my shower, my bed, my hoes. I ain't got no pussy here. Baby, we gotta go. What are we talking about?
With him sitting in his seat. I say, okay, and I broke it down to him this way. I say, well, Steve.
You didn't call him a nigga, did you?
Nah, I didn't. But I said, well, Steve, first of all, you got to understand the origins of police. Police, the concept of policemen and policing came from when people had to capture, return slaves to plantations and slave owners. So that means the first snitches were people who told
On slaves.
slaves that were running for.
I didn't know that's where police came from. Matter of fact, I never thought about where police started, where they came from. But he's saying the original police were to collect slaves. Like, that's interesting. But I'm sure none of these street niggas is thinking nothing about their history or nothing like that. They just like, hey, what the gang gonna say, what these hoes gonna say, how I'm gonna look to the gang and the hoes. That's all these niggas thinking about. But Gringo Gang, I'm gonna cut it short right there, man. What y'all think, man? Y'all think Gunna, you know what I'm saying, should have came out and, you know, gave a little more insight as to why he made the decision he made? Or do y'all think that, you know, due to the success of his music and everything like that, it really doesn't matter anymore? Nobody really cares anymore. Me personally, I don't give a fuck. I'm not YSL. I don't know none of these niggas, but at the same time, I know that there's a lot of bridges that, you know, I hope Gunna is not gonna need in the future. You know what I'm saying? Where all of, you know, the YSL niggas and the niggas that he came up with, hopefully he never gets into a position where he gotta come back to them niggas because he never took the time out to share his side of the story. And, you know what I'm saying, it looks like he's been unapologetic, you know what I mean? Even though we understand, you know, we can kind of infer why he made the decision he made, he still didn't come out and genuinely say it himself. Same way, you know, Thug came out and genuinely, you know, talked about everything. And, you know, that can rub your day ones the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Hopefully he keeps elevating where he never has to come back and, you know, win the good graces of those people, because that bridge might be already burnt. Not saying that, you know, that's the type of bridge you want to keep, because obviously that bridge got your ass in a RICO case, but still, we have seen in the past that, you know, people feel like they don't have to repair their mistakes as long as they keep winning until they crash out, and then they find themselves right back under the people that they betrayed. And then, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got nobody to turn to, because the people who was with you while you were successful, they ain't really give a fuck about you. They was only with you because you was winning and getting money. And the people you started with, you just left them behind because you was winning and getting money. So hopefully he stays up and he continues to stay at the top, and he never goes broke. Because if he ever got to go back to them people, I don't know if they gonna be willing to hear no explanations at that point. But Gringo Gang, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Pretty interesting conversation that no one has asked about until now. So yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Gringo Gang, and I'm gonna catch you with the next one. Yes, sir. Ski.
In they blood, with G in they blood, no longer putting weed in my lungs. The season begun, I'm falling through, just me and the gun. I squeeze and you're done, so keep the beef and things will be fun. Colossal the moves, I know what they can't teach in the schools. Not watching cartoons, don't care about even the news. I'm living my life, I make it work the way that I choose. It's all W's, cause nigga I ain't playing to lose. Cause I'm the big dipper, bad bitch guitar. Got Corona in my dick, I don't sip liquor. I'm a slick nigga, I'm a rich bitter. You don't show up with my chips, I'ma get with ya. I'm a lit nigga, talking shit with ya. Counting money in the flick, it's the big picture. I'm the quick killer, there ain't no trick thriller. I make a movie with your bitch until I hit thriller. Come on, I'm the big dipper, bad bitch guitar. Corona in my dick, I don't sip liquor. I'm a slick nigga, I'm a rich spitter. You don't show up with my chips, I'ma get with ya. I'm a lit nigga, talking shit with ya. Count the money in the flick, it's the big picture. I'm the quick killer, there ain't no trick, brother. I make a movie with your bitch until I hit